Hey guys, Brian Kelly from Zombie Guitar here. In this video I wanted to give you an overview of the latest update that has been made to the Zombie Guitar website. So this recent update was entirely focused on optimizing navigation. So the reason that this needed to be done is simply because there's just so much content on the site. Zombie Guitar has been around since 2016. It's now the year 2021. And over the last 6 years, I've just been adding content every week, every month, every year. There's just so much stuff. So as it currently stands, there's 20 courses. There's over 200 in-depth lessons. There's over 2,000 video backing tracks. There's song lessons. There's solo analysis lessons. There's fretboard diagrams. There's just so much stuff, and as a result, navigation just needed to be optimized. So in its current form, as it currently stands today after this new revision, I think you're really going to like the way that things are set up. So I'm going to give you a walkthrough in a minute, but just a quick overview of the main contents of the site. Number one, you have the Beginning Guitar Player's Guide section. That's for beginners and for people that are looking to understand the fundamentals of music, such as major keys, minor keys, the relationship between major keys and minor keys, chord progressions, different chord types, things like that. That's the Beginning Guitar Player's Guide section of the site. That's one of the main sections. The other main section is the Soloing Across the Fretboard section. So soloing across the fretboard doesn't really pay attention to the underlying chords that you're trying to solo over. It just focuses on the key. So that's a very big thing. So if you know that you're trying to solo over something that's in the key of A minor, for example, you would apply your appropriate scale patterns using the fundamental scales, which are the pentatonic scale, the diatonic scale, and the blues scale. And, knowing your fundamental scales, knowing your scale patterns, you can solo across the neck of the guitar in key. So that's what that section's about. You then have the caged and chord tone targeting section. So that's where you not only want to focus on the key that you're soloing in, but you also want to focus on specific notes within the scale patterns on a per chord basis. So you really want to start paying attention to the actual chords that you're soloing over. And that's what this section's about. So the cage system is just one of the ways of visualizing the fretboard in order to chord tone target, but it's not the only way. So in this section, there's a lot of lessons about caged, a lot of caged applications, but there's also other approaches aside from caged as well. So that's the third section. The fourth section is the Modes and Different Sounds section. So Modes and Different Sounds is about writing music in frameworks. I call them frameworks other than major key and minor key. So you can write music in a major key, you can write a chord progression in a major key, you can solo in a major key. The sound that is produced as a result of writing in a major key is going to sound like the major key sound. It's going to sound happy, cheery, whatever. The same thing is true for a minor key. You can write music in a minor key, solo in a minor key, write chord progressions in a minor key. It's going to have another sound. It's going to have a sadder sound. It's going to sound different than that of a major key. Well, in the Modes and Different Sounds section, there's other frameworks. You can write music in Dorian. You can write music in harmonic minor. You can write music in Lydian. So there's all these other frameworks that you can write music in, and it's just a very holistic concept, and that's all the stuff that can be found in that section. So those are your four main sections of the site. You also have the songs section, and then you have the weekly video blog section, which I'll get to at the end. So with that quick overview, let me now give you a screen capture walkthrough of what the site looks like. All right, so I'm at the homepage of the site here, and I'm not even logged in. So you can browse all the contents of the site without even needing to create a membership or pay for anything if you just want to kind of see what's all part of Zombie Guitar. So just on the main site, you can click on Start right here, and that'll take you to the Start page, which is where you can access all the main sections of the site. So if you create a free membership, you get access to 10 lessons, 1 course, and 30 or over 30 video backing tracks. And here's all the main sections that I was just telling you about, plus the other sections of the site. So you can just click on these Learn More buttons and see exactly what's contained within each of these sections. So in the caged and chord tone targeting section, you have 3 courses. See what the modules are named, see what's contained in the courses. This one contains 31 in-depth lessons. See exactly which in-depth lessons are involved. All right, so this is just me browsing the site, not even being logged in at all. and this is the start page of the site. So now I'm going to log in as a full access member so we can actually start going through some of these different sections of the site. So now I'm logged in as a full access member to the site, and the first thing that you see is this yellow box here. So this yellow box here contains a quick navigation menu which allows you to get to any of the main sections of the site, which is the same thing as scrolling down the page and clicking on the buttons. Now that I'm logged in, clicking on these red Get Started buttons will actually take me to the contents instead of just an overview like we just looked at. So I'm just going to start out just by going through each section. So let's look at the beginning guitar player's guide here. So clicking on this red Get Started button will actually allow me to view the courses and lessons. So in any of the main sections, you're going to be presented with two options. You have the course option, and then you have the in-depth lessons option. In-depth lessons is always going to be the theoretical approach to learning the stuff. The course option is always going to be the minimal theory, kind of step-by-step manner of learning stuff. So this section of the site contains just one course, and it's called the newbie course. So the newbie course is really just about getting you up and running. If you're just starting out playing guitar, learning the basics, this course contains 18 songs. The 18 songs kind of coincide with the lesson topics. So, once you get down to using movable chords, we talk about power chords. So these songs contain power chords. We talk about major and minor chords. This song contains major and minor bar chords. Using a capo. This song's about using a capo. Different types of rhythm patterns. This song uses the upbeat strum. This song uses this technique. This song uses this technique. All right, so the songs kind of coincide with the lesson topics within the newbie course. So there's 18 songs in the newbie course, and I don't know how many lessons in total, but there's, 10 modules in total. And then if I want a deeper dive into certain theoretical topics and I don't want to do the course, then I can go to the in-depth lessons. So clicking on in-depth lessons. So there's 20-something in-depth lessons here. So you can click on any one of these. And this video is 35 minutes long. This lesson contains charts, diagrams, a written lesson, lots of stuff. That's why it's called an in-depth lesson. One single in-depth lesson may take you, a week, a couple days. It could take you a while just to kind of grasp one single lesson. And there's over 200 in-depth lessons. So this is just one of 200. And this particular lesson is found in the beginning guitar player's guide section in the lessons section. All right, so there's like 20-something in-depth lessons in this beginning guitar player's guide section. Let's go on to another section now. So you can always click Start, and it'll take you back to this page. You can use the quick navigation menu, or you can scroll down and click on the images, whichever one you prefer. So let's go to the soloing across the fretboard section of the site. Again, you're presented with the courses option and the in-depth lessons option. Theoretical, not so theoretical. So let's just look at the courses real quick. So, as I said, the goal is learning how to solo across the fretboard just by using the fundamental scales. It's not so much about specific chords, it's just about the overall key. So once you know the overall key, you can use your minor pentatonic scale. You can use the major pentatonic scale if it's in a major key, combining the minor and major, looking at each of the pentatonic positions and adding the blue note, the diatonic scale, which is otherwise known as just the major scale if it's in a major key, or the natural minor scale if it's used in a minor key, scale combining, blues theory. So these courses are very short and sweet and to the point, and they're very, very heavily focused on video backing tracks. So in the minor pentatonic course, you have 6 modules, with the goal being to play the pentatonic scale across the entire neck of the guitar. So it starts out with just one position, everything repeats after the 12th fret, expanding to 2 positions, expanding to 3, ultimately covering the fretboard. So within any of these modules, you're going to be given a very short lesson and a very short demo, and then the opportunity to try it yourself in multiple keys. So I just chose module 3 of the minor pentatonic course, which is about expanding to 2 pentatonic positions. Short little 4-minute lesson, short little 2-minute demo if you want to watch that, and then try it yourself in 3 different keys. This is where the video backing tracks come into play. So the objective here is I'm playing the rhythm. This video goes on for 8 minutes or so. I'm just playing the rhythm. This shows you the rhythm chords that I'm playing, and then this is your soloing framework up here. So this is the key of A minor. So this is the A minor pentatonic scale. It's expanded to 2 positions now because I'm in module 3 here of this pentatonic course. So module 3 is about expanding to 2 positions. And the objective is for you to just solo. Grab your guitar, solo along with this video where I'm playing the rhythm. If you want to try an E minor, which is a different key, same thing. I'm playing the rhythm in the key of E minor. The same thing, everything's just kind of shifted because it's in a different key. If you want to try it in a different key, again, same thing. So 1 short lesson, 1 short demo, and then 3 video backing tracks for you to try playing this yourself. So that's the minor pentatonic course, and it works the same way for all of them. And then once you get to the final module where we cover the entire fretboard using the pentatonic scale, again, you're presented with a short lesson, a short demo, and then you can try it in all 12 keys. Instead of just being limited to 3 keys, you can try it in all 12. So if you want to practice soloing in, I don't know, D sharp minor pentatonic, all right, so use your pentatonic scale, jam along with me, grab your guitar, just start jamming. All these videos are very, very long. So pick a key, and that's your minor pentatonic. So once you kind of work your way through a course, you can do the same thing with any of these courses, minor pentatonic course, major pentatonic course, whatever. You can then come down, and there's a ton of other video backing tracks. So there's 5 major chord progressions to practice soloing over, and 5 minor progressions to practice soloing over. So just pick one of these. Let's say I pick minor progression number 3. You know, these expand. You can pick your key. So let's just pick the key of, say, I don't know, E minor or something. And then once you're in here, this is a video backing track where the rhythm section is playing in the key of E minor, as it says right here. Here's your E minor pentatonic scale span across the entire neck of the guitar, and you can practice just soloing. Alright, so you can jam using your E minor pentatonic scale over this chord progression. The white dots indicate the root note of the scale, which is the note E. So also within these video backing tracks, you can also apply your minor blues scale. There's a course about that in this section here. Practice using your minor blues scale over that same progression. Practice using the E natural minor scale over that same chord progression. Practice combining all that stuff together over the same chord progression. And then practice chord tone targeting over that same progression. So chord tone targeting, I'll show you that real quick. I'll get to that next once we go to the caged section of the site. But chord tone targeting is where the notes of the underlying chords light up for you as the chords change. So it's the same chord progression. So you can see these green dots are changing. So this is like the scale still remains the same. It's still the E minor scale, so you can use the E minor scale anywhere on the fretboard that you want, and all of the notes within the scale are going to sound good over any of the chords because everything's part of the same key. That's the whole purpose of this section of the site, to teach you that. But specific notes are going to sound better than others within the scale on a per chord basis. Those are known as chord tones. So we're not really focusing too heavily on chord tone targeting because that's really not what the soloing across the fretboard section is about. I'm just showing you that within these video backing tracks, you choose a progression, you choose a key. Once you choose a progression and once you choose a key, you're given your options of what you can do over that specific progression, one of those options being to chord tone target. All right, so if you want to dive deeper into chord tone targeting, that's what the caged and chord tone targeting section's about. So let's go back out to the soloing across the fretboard section of the site here again. So we were just looking at the courses. So there's also the in-depth lessons. Again, this is where if you want to dive deeper into theoretical concepts, in-depth lessons. So full fretboard scales, fretboard visualization approaches, applications. So there's a bunch of in-depth lessons in this section too. And a lot of these in-depth lessons come with video backing tracks as well. So the Solo Like a Pro in 8 weeks is the free course that I have on YouTube. You may have seen it before. So that's one of the in-depth lessons. So if you watch it on YouTube, you're just going to see just the video. But if you view it here from the site, you get the video. You get the written lesson, which comes with all the charts and diagrams, explanations of what each week entails, and then it also includes video backing tracks. So this one includes 8 video backing tracks. So click on that. Main lesson video again. So week 1. So week 1 is just about the first position of the pentatonic scale. Week 2 is about expanding. Week 3 is about adding bends. Week 4 is about adding the blue note. Week 5, I think we add the diatonic notes. Yeah, we add some extra notes. So each week progressively makes it harder and harder. That's what the Soloing Like a Pro in 8 weeks course is about. These video backing tracks coincide with each of the weeks of the 8-week course, which is why there's 8 of them. So within many of these lessons, we're on lesson 4 here. Within many of these in-depth lessons, you're going to see these video backing tracks are included. All right, so that was the lessons portion of the Soloing Across the Fretboard section. So let's look at the caged and chord tone targeting section now. All right, again, courses and in-depth lessons. So let's look at the courses first. This particular section contains 3 courses, and then you have more video backing tracks. So let's pick minor progression number 2 again. Let's pick the key of E minor again. And these video backing tracks, this is layer 1, this is layer 2. So if you just want to practice soloing over the progression using just your E minor scale, you can do that in this video. If you want to practice chord tone targeting over the exact same progression with the chords lighting up on the screen, that's what this video is for. So let's look at that. So it's just displaying a static fretboard diagram on the screen. That's the E minor scale spanned across the entire neck of the guitar. Play wherever you want. You may want to start out here in between frets 12 and 15 because that's the E minor pentatonic position number 1 area, but you're free to use any of the rest of the fretboard that you want. But that's not paying any attention to the chords. That's the soloing across the fretboard philosophy, if you want to call it that. The chord tone targeting portion of it, the layer 2 portion of it, is this video right here. So now the chord tones will light up. Alright, so now the chord tones are lighting up. And you're going to see that the green dots are your underlying chord tones. So we're pausing the C. The C chord contains the notes C, E, and G. So all these green dots are either C's, E's, or G's. All the rest of the black dots are the remaining notes from the E natural minor scale. You can still play those too, but the best sounding notes within the scale are going to be these green dots over this particular chord. When it switches chords, now the green dots are representing the notes of the G major chord. You're going to see that these white dots are still contained here. Those white dots are just simply the scale root, which is E. So this is the key of E minor. So this is literally, that's why I call it 2 layers. This is literally just the first layer. You're only focusing on layer 1, the scale. And then here you're focusing on the second layer, specific notes lighting up as the chords change, known as the chord tones. That's what this entire section of the site is about, the caged and chord tone targeting section. All right, so I was just in courses there. I was in the more video backing track section. I chose minor progression number 2, I think. You also have fretboard diagrams. Pick a fretboard diagram, minor diatonic scales, all 12 keys. All right. If you don't know what the colored dots mean, just check out the fretboard diagrams. It gives you a little legend of arpeggios. The red dot indicates the scale root, the black dot indicates the remaining scale notes, the green dot indicates the chord tones, root, third, and fifth of the underlying chord. So that's like a little legend letting you know what these dots mean. Alright, so that's the caged and chord tone targeting section, and then there's a bunch of in-depth lessons as well involved in that section. Many of the in-depth lessons also include video backing tracks pertaining to the exact lesson at hand. I'll show you an example of that real quick. Let's say you're working on, I don't know, the golden notes approach. This is an approach besides caged. This one includes 5 video backing tracks plus the written lesson. So this one includes video backing tracks. So here's your main lesson video. Practice in each of the 5 pentatonic positions. Let's say I want to practice in pentatonic position number 4 here. So the objective of this lesson here is to show you that when certain chords are being played, you can pretty much kind of just stick to just the pentatonic notes, and then when other chords are being played within the key, you kind of jump out of the pentatonic scale. That's why it's called the golden notes approach. This is just another approach to chord tone targeting aside from caged, and that's why it's found in this section. That's why it's found in the caged and chord tone targeting section. So that was lesson 10. These are all numbered. That was lesson 10. All right, so this one has about 30-something in-depth lessons. Let's go look at the modes and different sounds section now. So I can either get there through my quick navigation menu, or I can just click on the image. Doesn't matter. It's all going to take me to the same place. Courses, in-depth lessons. So this is all about different frameworks other than major or minor. So each of the courses within this section is about practicing different frameworks. So let's say Dorian framework. I'm interested in covering the fretboard using the Dorian scale. You can cover the entire fretboard in any framework using just 3 patterns. I talk about that on this site. Once you cover the fretboard using 3 patterns, you can practice it over some video backing tracks. You can practice combining with the pentatonic scale, and then you can practice chord tone targeting. So even though you're in a different framework, even though it's not major, it's not minor, it's Dorian, even though it's a Dorian framework, you can still do chord tone targeting within the Dorian framework, and the notes are going to light up on the screen within the video backing tracks. So you really want to learn the Dorian framework, do the Dorian framework course. You want to practice over some more video backing tracks. You want to try it over some Dorian progressions. Try it over Dorian progression number 1, Dorian progression number 2. Pick your key. Let's pick B Dorian. So this video backing track is going to allow you to just play the B Dorian scale, not really focusing on anything else. This video backing track is going to allow you to practice scale combining. The yellow dots indicate the notes that are pentatonic. The non-yellow dots are the non-pentatonic notes. Then it also combines with the blues scale. So this is all taught within the courses too. That's why I'm kind of moving quickly here. And then chord tone targeting. So within the Dorian framework, the chords that are occurring in the Dorian progression will light up on the screen. So that's all about the Dorian framework. And then of course within the modes and different sounds section courses, you also have your in-depth lessons if you really want to dive into the theory behind this stuff. So every section that you choose, courses, in-depth lessons, you're always given those 2 options. So this one has Dorian application lessons. And a lot of these also include video backing tracks on a per lesson basis as well. Harmonic minor deep dive. I think this one has video backing tracks with it. This is a 31-minute video. This one has 1 video backing track that's included. This one has a bunch of charts, a bunch of diagrams, because it's an in-depth lesson. So that's the modes and different sounds section of the site. I'm just going to quickly go over the last two sections of the site now. So this is just the ebook. So if you're a full access member, you get the online version of the Scales, Arpeggios, and Modes ebook that I wrote. The downloadable version is a separate thing, which can be purchased by clicking on the ebook tab. Then you have these other two sections, the video blog section and then the songs. So let's look at video blog first. So this is just dated format dating back to ever since I started Zombie Guitar. So all of the in-depth lessons can also be found here in a dated format. So there's tons and tons and tons. You can see that it just keeps going. It goes all the way back to 2016. So just kind of pick one of these lessons, and it's an in-depth lesson. You got your video. This one includes some video backing tracks. This one, it's got the charts and the diagrams and all that good stuff. All right. And it also has relevant lessons pertaining to this video. So you can just kind of just pick and choose, say, hey, this looks interesting, creating short melodic lead lines. What's that about, you know? So these are all in-depth lessons. All of these, this one includes video backing tracks as well. So there's, you know, tons and tons of these in-depth lessons that can be found here. And that's the video blog section, which again can be accessed through the quick navigation menu. The video blog right there. That's that section. And then you have the songs. So let's look at the songs section. So within the song section, you have full song lessons. Everything's in alphabetical order here. You then have solo analysis lessons. I like these a lot. So not only am I teaching you the solo in each of these lessons, I'm also explaining the theory behind it. So for example, I don't know, Blind Melon No Rain. This is an E Mixolydian solo. This is a 20-minute long video with this analysis. It then gives you some backing tracks at 3 different speeds to practice playing the solo over. It includes the tabs. So those are solo analysis lessons. The songs pulled from the newbie course. The newbie course, as I showed you in the beginning, is part of the beginning guitar player's guide section. There's 18 songs contained in there. They're also accessible from this page because this is the all songs page. And then this is something I just started, the songwriting analysis. So I haven't really added much to that yet, but that'll be filling out as time goes on. So those are your songs. There's about 60 or 70 songs that are included with this. And then last but not least, you have the search bar. So the search bar is great in case you want to look up a topic, but if you find a topic this way, then you're not going to be given the breadcrumb navigation option. So I'll show you what I mean. So let's say you're interested in something pentatonic. You would type in the word pentatonic. It's going to find all the lessons that contain the word pentatonic in the title. So let's say I just want to pick this first one, 5 facts about the pentatonic scale. Here's your video. Here's your written lesson, just like all the other in-depth lessons. But there's no breadcrumb navigation on the top since we didn't actually start in any specific section of the site. So if you're kind of browsing the site this way, you found this lesson, you like this lesson, you kind of want to say, what's this about? Click a relevant lesson, how to play diagonal pentatonic runs. Then you're kind of browsing through this lesson, and then you kind of want to, you click to this relevant lesson. All right, and you can just keep clicking your way through to other relevant lessons, but it's not going to give you a breadcrumb trail at the top like we looked at previously. So there's just too many. I would have to program that manually. So I did all that, but you have to start out in one of the 4 main sections in order to get that breadcrumb navigation. So if you're searching via the search bar like I just showed you and you ever get lost, you can always click on Start. That'll take you right back to where you started out at, right at the start page. So searching using the search bar, it's great. You can find any topic you want to look up. It's just type in one single word and it's going to find lessons using that one single word, but you don't get the breadcrumb. If you instead say, okay, I want to start here in the soloing across the fretboard section and, in-depth lessons, you can see it's forming a breadcrumb trail. Soloing across the fretboard lessons. I like lesson number 4. Again, it's all in the breadcrumb trail here. I want to do the video backing tracks associated with this lesson. Here's your breadcrumb trail. So you get the breadcrumb trail when you start in one of the main sections. You don't get the breadcrumb trail if you start by using the navigation bar. That's just the way the site works. Yeah, that's when you have thousands and thousands of pages, things aren't always easy to make the navigation super easy. But I think the website in its current form, the way it is right now, you know, with the 4 main sections, with the breadcrumb navigation, and this video to kind of guide you through everything, I think this is, it should be pretty straightforward. You should be able to find anything you're looking for. You know, if there's any suggestions, feel free to let me know. I'm always listening to the people that use this site and taking what you guys have to say to always make the site better and better. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.